What if I told you that mastering English fluency could completely transform your life? And I don't just mean job opportunities or traveling abroad. I'm talking about confidence, freedom, and real empowerment. The truth is, many people spend years studying yet still cannot speak fluently. Why? Because they're approaching it the wrong way. In this video, I'm going to reveal the real path to fluency, faster, smarter, and genuinely effective. If you're tired of memorizing grammar rules yet still struggle to speak, stay with me. Fluency in English is a dream shared by countless learners. Imagine being able to express yourself smoothly, to share your thoughts without hesitation. I remember when I was in the same position as you, nervous, self-conscious, sometimes even frustrated. Of course, I wanted to be fluent, but I was terrified of making mistakes. Then one day my teacher looked me in the eye and said, "You can become fluent if you practice every single day." Can you believe it? Just one sentence changed everything for me. That was when I realized fluency isn't some magical gift. It's a goal. And like any goal, it takes effort. Fluency doesn't appear overnight. Think of it like planting a tree. You begin with a tiny seed, water it, give it sunshine, and care for it patiently. One day, that seed grows into a tall, strong tree. English fluency is exactly the same. Little by little, day by day, with consistent care, your confidence blossoms, and suddenly you're speaking freely. I once had a student who came to me looking utterly dejected. "Teacher," she said, "I want to speak English, but I always forget the words." I smiled at her and replied, "Don't worry. Fluency isn't about remembering every single word, it's about practice. And you're already doing brilliantly." Her eyes filled with hope. "But how can I practice?" she asked eagerly. I told her, practice is everywhere. Talk with your friends, listen to stories, sing along to songs, yes, even in English. Isn't that wonderful? Every moment can be practice. When I was at school, I adored stories. Every evening, my teacher would read to us and I would repeat each word. At first, I was terribly slow. But as time went by, I improved. My vocabulary grew, and so did my confidence. One day a student asked me, "Teacher, does fluency simply mean speaking quickly?" I laughed and replied, "Not at all. Fluency means speaking clearly and confidently so others can understand you. You don't need to rush, you just need to speak from the heart." I remember a boy in my class who spoke incredibly fast, yet nobody could understand him. I told him, "Slow down, speak clearly, and use simple words." And what happened? People began to understand him, and his confidence soared. He started to genuinely enjoy speaking English. Fluency really is a journey you take step by step. Don't hurry. Enjoy each step, because one day you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Now let me share a secret with you. Ready? The real secret to fluency is listening. Yes, listening. Listen to people speak English, listen to stories, songs, conversations. The more you listen, the more you learn. I once knew a girl who adored music. She listened to English songs every day and soon began singing along. Her fluency improved so quickly it was astonishing. Mistakes, too, are vital. Don't fear them, they are your best teachers. I had a student once who was so frightened of mistakes she refused to speak at all. I encouraged her, "Don't be afraid. Every mistake is a lesson." One day she tried speaking in class. She made plenty of mistakes, but she didn't stop. With every word, her confidence grew. That was the moment she truly began her journey. Another powerful step is thinking in English. If you always translate in your head, you'll be slow and confused. I told one student, Try thinking in English. Even when you're alone, practice it. Bit by bit, he stopped translating, and soon he was speaking naturally. Reading is just as important. When you read, you learn new vocabulary, see how sentences are structured, and absorb the rhythm of the language. When I was learning, I read simple books. Each new word I wrote down and used in a sentence. One student once said, "Teacher, I read this but didn't understand everything." I told her, "That's fine. The more you read, the more you'll understand." She persisted, and her fluency soared. Recording yourself is another brilliant method. I knew a student who recorded herself reading aloud every day. She'd listen, notice areas for improvement, and gradually, her fluency became striking. Having a practice partner can make all the difference. I had two students who were best friends and decided to speak only English to each other. Every day they chatted, laughed, helped one another with new words. In time, they both became fluent. They enjoyed the process as much as the result. Real-life practice is invaluable too. Whether at the market or with friends, use English whenever possible. I remember one student working in a shop. He decided to speak only English with his customers. At first it was daunting, but soon he grew more fluent and confident. Curiosity helps as well. When you hear a new word, don't ignore it. Look it up, understand it, and try to use it. One student of mine was endlessly curious. Every new word he heard, he would ask me about it and then use it repeatedly. His vocabulary and fluency expanded dramatically. Goals are also powerful motivators. Ask yourself, why do I want to be fluent? I had a student whose dream was to travel to an English-speaking country. Her goal kept her practicing every day, and by the time she traveled, she was fluent. It's vital to enjoy the journey. Fluency doesn't happen instantly, but if you enjoy the process, it feels lighter. I had a student who loved English films. At first, he used subtitles, but eventually he didn't need them at all. His fluency improved because he was doing something he enjoyed. Repetition also matters. The more you repeat, the more it sticks. I had a student who loved repeating sentences over and over. Soon those sentences became part of his natural speech. Speaking with different people also strengthens fluency. Everyone speaks differently, so the more people you practice with, the more versatile you become. One shy student of mine only spoke with me. I encouraged him to talk to others too, and eventually his confidence soared. Talking about your passions helps as well. I had a student obsessed with football. He spoke about it daily, and because he loved the topic, his fluency improved. Fluency also means being comfortable not knowing every word. If you forget a word, describe it another way. I told one student, if you don't know the exact word, explain it differently. That way, the conversation keeps going. Practicing in front of a mirror is another great technique. One of my shy students tried this. At first she felt silly, but soon her confidence grew, and she spoke more naturally in front of others. And what if you forget a word mid-sentence? Don't panic. It happens to everyone. Take a breath, continue, and the word may come later. I told a nervous student of mine, don't freeze, just keep going. Over time, he learned to stay calm and relaxed. Breaks are important too. Fluency doesn't mean working endlessly. Rest matters. One student of mine practiced non-stop until she grew frustrated. I advised her to rest. She returned refreshed, and her fluency continued to improve. Creativity makes practice enjoyable. Write a story, sing a song, record a video. I had a student who loved writing short stories in English, then reading them aloud. Her fluency blossomed. Teaching others is also powerful. One student helped her friends learn, and not only did they improve, she became more fluent too. Routine is a game changer. One student practiced every morning for 30 minutes, and this consistency transformed his fluency. Be patient with yourself. Fluency takes time. I had a student desperate to improve quickly. He grew frustrated at slow progress. I reminded him, even slow progress is progress. He kept going and eventually saw results. Listening is as important as speaking. A good listener learns how to respond and understands the rhythm of English. One student of mine always listened attentively before speaking, which made him clear and thoughtful. A positive attitude also makes a difference. I had a student who laughed at her mistakes and carried on. That positivity fueled her progress. Sometimes you must step outside your comfort zone. One student felt comfortable in class, but shy outside. With encouragement, she began speaking in real life and became far more fluent. Observing fluent speakers is equally useful. Watch their style, copy their intonation. I had a student who mimicked her favorite English speaker until she developed her own confident voice. Celebrate every little victory. Each new word, each attempt without hesitation, celebrate it. One student celebrated even the smallest wins, and it motivated her to keep going. Pauses are also natural. If you get stuck, take a breath, gather your thoughts, then continue. This calmness will help you. Finally, practice what you learn. If you discover a new word today, use it tomorrow. I had a student who made this his daily habit. That's how words become part of you. So now I ask you, what inspires you to keep going on your journey to fluency?